Championnat canadien Ultimate Master. On est à Ottawa, au UPI, juste en banlieue d'Ottawa. Quatrième web diffusion de cette première journée de championnat canadien Master. On assiste à un match à la division mixte qui opposera Puck Puck du Québec contre Dinner at 4. So we are live here at UPI, nearby Ottawa, in a pre-quarter game in the mixed master division where Puck Puck from Quebec is facing off Dinner at 4 from Ontario. Puck Puck has started with the pull, and then 2 turnovers over the disc is back at Dinner at 4 nearby their own goal line. My name is Etienne Fournier. I will be your host, and I will share the mic with Theo Wan, one of the best in the business. Thanks, Theo, for being with us today. It was a hot and muggy day. Players are tired from the weather. Puck Puck has played 2 games so far, which they have won 15-5, 15-4. Dinner at 4 have also made their way to the pre-quarters. So whoever wins this will be in a better position for the quarters tomorrow.
Both teams guaranteed a spot in the quarters here, as you mentioned there, Etienne. So some might say, what are they playing for? But they're playing for that better seed. And for Puck Puck, I think it's a chance for them to get tested by a team that's really going to give them some run here. You mentioned how they didn't get scored on a lot in their previous 2 games. So I think this is a good opportunity for them. Dinner at 4 is really going to be chomping at the bit here after beating notorious KWG in pool play,
which was an upset. And so far, they're looking good on offense, moving the disc well. But, just Stacy Blouin could not handle that last pass. So it will be a break opportunity for Puck Puck. Et Noskowski-Boisvert qui alimente Vanas. Vanas qui décoche ce revers, mais qui est un peu court. Poitras était la cible. Visé quickly. Fizzle with the disc going long. Finding number 7, Jeffrey Elliott, for the first point of the game. Offense hold by Dinner at 4, taking a short lead of 1-0 to kick off this first half.
Didn't get a clean hold per se, but able to score after a couple of turnovers from each side. And Fizzell earning her 4th assist of this tournament. Mentioned previously their victory over notorious KWG. In their other pool play game, they won pretty handily against Firefly 15-5. So both of these teams, well, at least in the case of Dinner at 4 getting tested, Puck Puck, I think this will be their real test. A lot of these players having played Worlds, you had a chance to be there, Etienne, and you got to see this team in person, and they look really strong.
Yeah, they played up until the final of the Mixed Master Division in Ireland about 3 weeks ago, which they have unfortunately lost. But even though the core of the team is the same as the team that they played in Ireland, there's quite significant additions that they've added on their roster, and for a few of them is Geneviève Dufresne, which think of a tournament, think of a championship, she played it. And there's also Mark Zimmel. Well, who is Mark Zimmel? You probably don't know Mark Zimmel, but you probably know Shaggy, which has been in the Ultimate Canadian community for forever, and probably before that. So what an impressive player, and still hanging in there after many years of playing at the highest level possible. Le Pagnol avec le disque, une addition à l'équipe Époque qui était en Irlande. Rapidement, on bouge à dire Pilon qui décoche le lancer droit, c'est Monette qui est la cible, et Monette qui convertit le point. Octroie à Puck Puck le premier point de ce match. Dans ce match, un match égal, 1-1, très tôt dans ce premier quart. So Marianne Pilon, who threw that flick. She was coaching, actually, Epoch at Worlds in Ireland. So she mentioned on Facebook that this is our first tournament she is playing for a very, very long time. So she's looking pretty good looking at the flick. She just wickedly threw to Monette for Epoch's first point.
Clearly not feeling the effects of the layoff with that throw. And Puck Puck able to return the favor here with a clean hold of their own. Both teams exchanging holds to start this game. And I think 2 teams that don't play each other often from different provinces, from Quebec and Ontario. And, when the game starts, there's often a feeling out to see what teams are going to do. Our team's going to go mostly person defense? Are they going to go zone? Are they going to try some different things? So I think early on there'll be a feeling out process here.
Époque. Avec les lancers d'engagement, c'est Shaggy. Superbe lancer d'engagement qui traverse presque l'entièreté du terrain. Dinner at 4 with the disc. Whoa, that's just a bubble, but still can handle it. Wilson stays in control, attacking the up the line. Handler, great pivot, going sideways. Now it's 45 Baxter. Attacking the break side, but miscue. Number 73 Fizzle could not handle this. It was just slightly out of reach, even though she slided on her knees to secure the disc. Félix-Antoine Daigle alimente Vanasse. Vanasse, le disque qui flotte et c'est bien attrapé. Et c'est Poitras qui sécurise le point bris, le premier point bris de Puck Puck qui se donne une courte avance de 2-1 tôt dans ce début de match.
Great grab from the belt to keep things alive for the squad and then firing the assist for the score. Puck able to take advantage of a short field turnover from Dinner at 4. And that's what the good teams do. They're going to take advantage of those opportunities and punch them right in.
Donc, Puck est une équipe dont l'essentiel vient de... Plusieurs joueurs viennent de Montréal, plusieurs joueurs viennent de Québec. Aussi quelques joueurs provenant de la belle ville de Sherbrooke. Donc, il regroupe plusieurs des meilleurs éléments Master Mix du Québec.
Hear the wind really picking up on our mics here. You can probably barely hear our voices of how strong the wind is. So that's definitely going to play a factor. And Dinner at 4 going to have to go more or less upwind here to try to punch in this hold.
Lancé d'engagement du côté féminin, c'est Pilon qui fait le lancer d'engagement. Dinner at 4. Oh, just bobbles with the disc. Number 27, Fagan, was just dropping the disc. Le Pagnol, rapidement, avec un lancer droit, mais ça a été emporté par le vent. Just the wind picking up the disc and making it out of reach. Great decision by Le Pagnol, mais c'était malheureusement avec le vent, ça a mis le disque hors de portée pour la cible, qui était la numéro 24, Marie-Laurence Laberge. Dinner at 4, going upward quickly, almost midfield, but just miscommunication. The receiver did not expect that pass, that little dish. In the meantime, Howard taking the lead, feeding Drouin, qui continue son travail de passe et court. Ici, belle attrapée ici. C'est La Pagnol qui sauve ce disque, qui semblait vouloir atterrir à l'extérieur du terrain. Un beau contrôle ici de Époque Howard qui était la cible de cette passe, mais encore une fois, le vent qui peut jouer des tours et a mis le disque hors de portée de la numéro 15. Ce sera un revirement en faveur de Dinner at 4. 5 yards shy of their own goal line. Number 7, Elliott now with the disc. But just little miscued. And it's defended by Epoch. Sabrina Baudette qui effectue la défensive. Ce sera Pilon qui remettra le disque en jeu à quelques verges du point de Brick. Rapidement attaque le côté bris. Baudette qui s'est ouvert en cible. Remet à sa capitaine Pilon qui rapidement, sans hésiter, alimente Marie-Laurence Laberge, numéro 24. Et c'est ainsi que Puck inscrit son deuxième point bris consécutif et se forge rapidement une avance de 3-1 en ouverture de match.
A third straight point for Puck out of Quebec, and Laberge getting her third goal of the tournament. And there were a few kind of unforced turnovers there. A couple drops from Dinner at 4. Throwaway there at the end for their third turnover. So they're going to have to tighten things up if they want to make a run here. Interesting enough for Dinner at 4. They're from they're labeled as from the Bowmanville, Durham area, but they have players that played for Backdraft, but they also have players that play for local 613 out of Kingston, Ontario, and Matt Hofing, who plays for Force out of Barrie. So a little bit of mix of players. I know Fizel has played for local 613 as well. Miles Wilson, who's out there in the headband, part of that crew of Kingston players joining this team. So they're in this kind of interesting situation where they're down 3-1, giving up a few points and really going to have to turn things around before the lead balloons too large to come back from.
Lancé d'engagement de Néné Skrotsky-Boisvert avec un ratio de 4 joueuses féminines versus 3 joueurs masculins sur le terrain. Dinner at 4 with the disc. It's kind of a zony, poachy defense played by Puck, which Dinner at 4 finding the holes into the zone defense. Blue Wayne with the disc, resetting, finding Ezard. Ezard hammer time, break side, and Cabral catching the disc, providing his team their second point, reducing the gap to a 1 point. Still Puck leading 3-2 early in this first half.
If you want to turn the tides of momentum here, why don't you just throw a hammer for the score? I know it's a clean hold, but Ezard getting his 6th assist of the tournament, and they very much needed that. Didn't want to go down 4-1 here, so 3-2 the score. They did start on offense, so, down a couple breaks, but showing that they have the ability to throw some fancy throws here, a little hammer time. A little fun stuff for the audience here.
And no hesitation in triggering that hammer. You saw his teammate open on the break side and just fired it. No hesitation. So it's not a hammer is not a bad decision. The only bad decision on a hammer is an incomplete hammer.
That's true.
So whatever your throwing decision, as long as it's completed, then it was a good decision.
For Puck, after Dinner at 4 got the hold, they actually did a clean hold themselves. So we'll see if they can continue to keep that momentum on their side by getting a clean hold. Le Pagnol has really been quarterbacking this offense for this team, and expect to see him being involved once again on this offensive point.
Le Pagnol, il remet à Pilon. Défensive de zone par Dinner at 4. Le Pagnol, encore une fois. On s'échange les politesses avec Pilon. Le Pagnol, est-ce qu'il y a eu contact? Je crois, oui, effectivement. Il y a un appel de faute. Le Pagnol qui appelle une faute. C'est contre la marqueur De La Mota, Sarah De La Mota, qui porte le numéro 11. Et la faute ne sera pas contestée. Le Pagnol qui remettra le disque en jeu. On s'assure de la part des observateurs que tout est en bonne et due forme. On reprendra au compte de 1. Voyons voir dans quelle mesure la défensive de zone de Dinner at 4 pourra ralentir la machine offensive. Là, c'est Baudette avec le disque. Belle feinte ici. Remet Le Pagnol le long de la ligne. Petite passe qui flotte, trouve Bordelot, le gaucher. C'est maintenant Laberge à quelques mètres de la zone de pointe. Donne une indication d'attaquer le côté bris et c'est Baudette qui s'offre en cible du côté bris. Sans hésitation, Laberge qui l'alimente de brillante façon, octroie son équipe le 4e point. Possession offensive qui est maintenue. 4-2 pour Puck dans cette première mi-temps.
After that little stoppage there, the foul call, Puck's offense looking very smooth. Not that there wasn't some resistance there, but they're able to move things pretty freely and showing that their offense is pretty battle-tested. I mean, this team, a lot of the players haven't gone to Worlds. Not all of them, of course. They had some additions, as you mentioned. But this team is going to be ready for the challenges that await them. And this is one of the challenges, and I suspect that this team, with the talent they have, is going to make a big run into the final. I think we'll be streaming them tomorrow. I don't want to guarantee it, but this team has the talent on paper to do so.
Everything is there, so we just need to make it happen. And just like the way in the last instance that Laberge, who has the disc in her hand, she just pointed to Baudette, hey, give me that break side cut. I'm going to find you, with no hesitation. But it just busted on the break side, and Laberge, split second later, put the disc in her hand. Dinner at 4, going long, floaty disc. Number 16 is hunting it down, but it's a little too far away. Not a bad decision, but just the execution was a little too much power on that disc, or not enough love, depending on your perspective. Too much power, not enough love. Whatever.
Maybe a mix of both, potentially. For Elliott launching that one for Wilson. Wilson, a big-bodied cutter, has played for Queen's University, and Local 613 bring his talents out here for dinner at 4 in the Masters Division.
Daigle qui trouve Zimmerl, alimente Dufresne, rapidement à Vanas. On ne laisse même pas le temps dans la marque de commencer son compte. Vanas qui retrouve Zimmerl. C'est Poitras qui malheureusement ne peut attraper ce 10. Il y avait beaucoup de vivacité dans ce lancer de Zimmerl. Revirement, dinner at 4, countering, looking to hold their own possession. Number 8, all by herself, Jocelyn Blasey was being forgotten by Puck defense. She was lying by herself, looking so lonely. But still, her teammate finding her and feeding her with a nice backhand, granting dinner at 4 their 3rd point of the game.
Blasey wide open, but let's give also some credit to Elliott with the throw. The first throw to Wilson, too far. Like you said, a little maybe too much power. But that one had the love on it, floated it right out to Blasey, right in the breadbasket for the grab. And that's what you need right now. Their offense is working. The tricky part right now is the last 2 offensive points, which have been the only offensive points here for Pok, have been clean holds and not a lot of defensive resistance. So maybe they're going to come out in a junky look. Are they going to go person? They're going to have to change something up eventually if they want to get some breaks back in this game, because right now Pok's offense is looking very smooth.
So Mark Zimmerl wearing number 33. It's kind of a legend out of the ultimate community scene in Canada. Think of a tournament, international tournament, he played it. I don't know how young he is, but he's not as young as he used to be, but still he plays like a young man, even though now in the Master Division. Howard qui ciblait Baudette, mais c'était tout juste hors de portée. Revirement, dinner at 4 with a break opportunity, which they are hunting for their first break point so far. But no, Saint-Onge dit non. C'est Laberge qui alimente Pilon. Pilon, oh, rapidement, voulait Lopagnol. Je crois qu'elle a hésité entre Monette et Lopagnol. Ça sera un revirement for dinner at 4. Taking the disc back after a puck miscued.
First turnovers on their offensive points. They had clean holds otherwise, so interesting to say the least.
Long pass, but kind of a tricky path. It seemed that it was a little short, but I don't know, something happened that both of the players now had to chase down the disc.
Hall had a chance on it, but I thought he might have had a chance on the second effort, to be honest. I think at first he misread it and then had a second opportunity, but unable to reel in. It would have been a huge break there, but Pok's offense showing a little bit of cracks right now, and see if they can holster it on this 3rd opportunity of this offensive point.
Monette à l'intérieur, c'est Pilon maintenant qui fouette ce disque et trouve Saint-Onge jusque dans la zone rouge. Saint-Onge remet en soutien de Baudette à Laberge rapidement. Oh, Laberge avec une passe audacieuse. Là, il y a le défenseur de Dinner at 4 qui dit à ses coéquipiers, hey, où était le hop ici? J'aurais pu bloquer cette passe, mais c'est Saint-Onge qui met fin à la trajectoire du 10 et octroie à son équipe un 5e point. Puck en avance 5-3.
Been really impressed with Labarge's game so far for this Pok squad. Counted the last 2 assists, the last 3 goals. Labarge has been involved in 2 assists and a goal for number 24. So being really involved on the offense, and Pok looking like they're going with more true offensive and defensive lines. We saw some of the pickup teams kind of going mishmash. We saw that with Trail Mix, saw that with Flow. But seeing this with this seasoned squad who was at Worlds, they're going to go with the traditional, we have an offensive line, we have a defensive line. And Lepagnol going to be kind of the center handler for that offense.
Absolutely. Alors, Puck avec le lancer d'engagement. Léna Skrotsky-Boisvert qui l'effectuera. Dinner at 4 on the receiving end of the serve. And the disc is live and floaty and lands, just less than a yard away from the sideline. Good position for Puck defense. Dinner at 4. There was a call. There was a pick call in the stack. Stoppage of play. But still, quickly resolved. Dinner at 4. Right in the middle. Great disc movement. Number 45, Baxter. Going sideways. It's a women point. Fizzle now. With the disc stuck on the sideline, looking for an answer. Floaty disc up the line to number 22. Was that caught in? Hoffing caught it, and it's confirmed by the observers that was caught in, even though it was very, very tight on the sideline. Nonetheless, it's a dinner at 4. Fourth point of the game, with a score of Puck still leading by 1.5 to 4.
Want to give a quick kudos to the defender who could have probably bid a little bit harder and could have made a much more dangerous play. So thank you for not doing that. I'm sure Hofing's also happy that that didn't happen. You see that a lot with a blindside defender coming through on an upline pass that's too far. And I've seen many a collision with that play. So very happy that Dinner at 4 and their players are safe. And yeah, we're happy that the game continues. But Etienne, I just got to give a shout out to the name Dinner at 4 in general. We're trying to
an amazing name.
Trying to figure out what it's about, but we're assuming just because they're master's age that they eat dinner early. Is that sort of what we're getting at here?
That's my reading of it. and Tushar, I think you're agreeing also with that, or do you? I think, well, we're all agreeing. So if we all four of us are agreeing at this, that's what it is.
Then that's the name. That's what it is. So
that's something amazing with the ultimate community is the naming of the teams, which every year gets more and more creative. Le Pagnol en réception de service alimente s'échange des politesses avec Pilon. Le Pagnol qui s'échappe. La passe qui flotte. Le Pagnol est la cible. Et malheureusement, ne peut maîtriser cette passe. C'était une bonne idée. Le fameux handler strike qui n'a pas abouti. Mais maintenant, Dinner at 4 with the disc. Oh, le Pagnol qui intercepte cette passe, qui a été faite un peu de façon précipitée, mais belle lecture et qui remet de la main gauche à Howard. Rapidement, c'est Saint-Onge avec le disque de la main gauche. Remet sagement à Howard du côté bris. Il y a beaucoup de trafic en arrière. On nettoie un peu le bord de l'eau. Le capitaine de Puck, de Époque aussi. Maintenant, c'est le Pagnol dans la zone rouge. À quelques verges et rapidement remet à bord de l'eau qui s'est échappé le long de la ligne et qui confirme à son équipe le 6e point de ce match. Puck qui s'est forgé une courte avance de 2,6 à 4.
You had an opportunity if you're a Dinner at 4. You got the turnover, but Le Pagnol gets it back for his squad. And we've been talking a lot about Le Pagnol kind of quarterbacking this offense, but Marianne Pillon as well has been doing a lot of the leg work or handler work, I should say, for this offense as well, kind of along with Le Pagnol, kind of carrying things for this offensive line.
Pillon has an extensive background in ultimate in both leading, captaining, playing, coaching elite team throughout those many years. She's based out of Quebec City. So an impressive athlete, another very impressive representative of Quebec City.
And I know this is more from your neck of the woods here, but are a lot of these players from Montreal, or is it Quebec City, or is it all over Quebec? Is there Sherbrooke? What kind of cities are represented on this team?
A lot of Montreal-based players, a lot of Quebec City, a few from Sherbrooke also. So, and there might be a few ones from Trois-Rivières, I believe.
So
but
all over the province.
From all over the province. So the pull being thrown by Zimmerl, Shaggy. Another great pull by the veteran. Dinner at 4, going long, floaty, and on the target. That's what you like to see. One pass point going cross field, number 16, Wilson, just wickedly whipping that flick downwind to provide his team their 5th point. We have a 1-point game, 6-5 for Puck.
It was a zone look, but it really did not do much effect. They had a deep, but that throw, the Kingston connection, we're going to call it that, the Kingston connection, making things happen for their squad and bringing the deficit down to 1. That downwind side, you're going to allow yourself to shoot it. And they had the cup set, but it really did nothing to Wilson. Wilson, a tall thrower for this team, kind of just throwing over that, and a laser to Cabral for the score, his second goal of the game.
And that's one thing you got to attempt once in a while, even though like if you're not like a unidimensional team, you got to sometimes attempt a long game. And if you're being successful, then the defensive side will respect you long, which will probably open things up on the inside. So great execution by Dinner at 4, which now is doing the pull.
Or you have to make them work 70 yards upwind. Either way, I think it's still a win for your team no matter what, with that long shot there from the downwind end zone.
Howard en milieu de terrain. Alimente Pilon. Oh, là, qui a tenté un lancer droit. Peut-être qu'il aurait dû tenter le lancer, le lancer droit plutôt que le revers. Mais mauvaise communication. On a pu trouver Baudette. Revirement en faveur de Dinner at 4, looking for their first break point of the game. Midfield. 24 Blue Wine, LP Blue Wine, who also played at Worlds in Ireland. But no, number 27 could not handle that disc Fagan. And it's a turnover for Puck O-line. Howard qui remet le disque en action. Bordelot. Le long de la ligne. Alimente Monette. Monette Howard est parti. Mais non, Monette retient son geste. Va aller en soutien, mais il est bloqué. Hand block by Dinner at 4, which kind of seemed very odd, but still it was a clean hand block. Number 11 is all by herself, going long, but no. The two handler by Dinner at 4 holding it back, even though there was a clear option along. Maybe they haven't seen it now. In the meantime, there was a pick call, which had an impact on the output, but still the disc leaves in Betty's hand. Westlake to Blue Wine. Blue Wine midfield, entering the red zone. Now 11 Della Mota with the disc, dishing it very nicely right in the middle of the end zone, making this game a tie one with Dinner at 4, first break point of the game.
Della Mota was open, very much so. You mentioned in the deep space, they didn't hit her. Eventually the disc gets worked around. They find her close to the end zone, and she dishes off the assist for the score. And Dinner at 4 really proving to have some resistance for this Puck squad. I know going into this tournament, they were seeded first, Puck, otherwise known as Epoch out of Quebec, and many may be wondering if they were going to get some resistance. I think they were going to, even in the bracket, but getting this in the crossovers, I think is good for them. As we mentioned, both teams going to be in the quarters, but you want that better spot. You don't want to have to face a tougher team in like the semis or the quarterfinals. So it's still a good test for both of these teams, and they're going hard and wanting it all. You can see that. And even for Dinner at 4, I see that they have a clipboard with names and someone calling lines. You don't always see that in the Masters division, so I like that Dinner at 4 has brought that out here. Bowmanville's finest over there.
And you mentioned the resistance that you need to have throughout a tournament. And Epoch, while they play Worlds in Limerick in Ireland, they won all the games they won was like 8, 9, 10 points differential. And then they faced up against Descents from the States, and they got beat up by 9.
They weren't used
10,
to it. They didn't see it
before.
before.
So, you know, you need some resistance in order to step up throughout a tournament. Époque, avec le disque, Zimmerl, qui alimente Daigle. Daigle, rapidement. On force la transition à match-up. Et là, c'est Tremblay là, qui alimente de belle façon. Quelle passe de Julie Tremblay du revers. Même ça aurait peut-être dû être un lancer droit, mais peu importe le résultat. Et que la passe était parfaitement timée ou synchronisée avec Lebel là, qui était parti. Fin ça là, dans la zone de points. C'est un 7e point pour Puck qui reprend une courte avance de 1 point vers la fin de cette première mi-temps.
After getting broken on the previous point, you love to see them come back and make a play. Julie Tremblay, a veteran in the Montreal scene. I know that has played lab as well before. And just floating it out into space. Seen her also coaching in the Montreal Ultimate scene as well. So that experience playing and coaching going to lend itself over here to this division. A timeout called, and teams trying to regroup here. Might have to check which team called it, or we saw a heat timeout earlier. I don't know if it's being called right now, but that was something that we saw earlier today where the observer said there's going to be a heat timeout.
Which is a great thing in order to keep everybody safe on the field. And you were talking about Julie Tremblay acting as a coach in the Montreal Ultimate community. She had the opportunity to coach for 2 years with Julie, and she's working actually as a phys ed teacher. So she had this great skills of, dissecting an aspect of the game and to say what you need to work on and how do you what is important. So she's not only a phys ed teacher, but she's an amazing ultimate Frisbee coach also, and she really knows how to explain and dissect a situation and how do you improve from it. Alors, un temps d'arrêt qui a été appelé, on croit que c'est par dinner at 4, mais on n'est pas certain qui a appelé exactement le temps d'arrêt. Peu importe, le pointage est 7-6 pour l'équipe du Québec Poc-Poc, classée numéro 1 de ce tournoi, qui est confronté là, dans ce pré-quart de finale contre Dinner at 4, qui est classé initialement 6e. Donc, l'enjeu de ce match n'est pas tant d'accéder au quart de finale, mais plutôt dans quelle position les deux équipes vont accéder au quart de finale. Évidemment, si l'équipe qui l'emporte aura en principe un match de quart de finale plus facile, en principe, et on insiste là-dessus. Lancé d'engagement de Poc-Poc.
See Lepagnol and Howard out on this defensive point. I think they sense the importance of it. They want to take half 8-6 and then get it back on offense. So I see why a timeout was called at that situation. They really want this point, and Lepagnol going to play defense out here.
Dinner at 4. And well read by Daigle, qui a bien lu la situation. Dieu intercepte cette passe rapidement. Poc-Poc qui bouge le 10. Lepagnol qui trouve Howard. Howard attaque le côté bris. Et c'est Lebel qui attrape ce 10. Lydia Lebel, le numéro 6, qui donne à son équipe non seulement un point bris, mais la mi-temps. Poc-Poc qui mène 8-6 dans cette première mi-temps de ce match pré-quart de finale. Theo, how do you like the quick transition by Poc-Poc on the last point? On a scale of 10, how much do you like it?
I'll give it a 6 for number 6 with the grab. But I do like that quick strike offense. Second goal for LaBelle there. And they're attacking. They crossed over some players. They sense the importance of the point. They take half, 8-6. They get it back on offense in the second half. So they're feeling good right now. And they've been a little tested here. And I think that's good for them. If ever you're a team that wants to make a run to a championship, you got to face some tests and also learn from it. I also like right now, Poc-Poc on our screen, they're actually taking some shade right now, and a little smart move from the team in white from Quebec. We saw Flo doing this earlier as well. As much time as you can stay away from the mugginess of this heat is better for you. So they're going to take a couple minutes of break here and get themselves some water and some refreshment before they head back out on the field.
And we're going to take another short break on our side also. On va prendre une courte pause, on sera de retour dans quelques instants. À tout de suite.
And welcome back. We're about to go into the second half. If you've been watching some of the other games, you know this is at the point in halftime. I thank you for supporting Ultimate Canada, your local communities of Ultimate, your local touring teams, and also participating in the series, whether it be juniors, seniors, masters, as a coach, a parent, a friend, in any sort of fashion. Grassroots Ultimate depends on people like you and us to keep participating in order to keep it going. During the first half, the commentators, Theo and Etienne, spoke about how many of these players have been supporting the communities. And I think I'd just like to take a nostalgic trip back to 2009, where some of the Puck Puck players were on the field playing in Winnipeg when we did our first stream, Ultimate Canada stream. So if you kind of look back from a historic perspective, we've been seeing these players again and again and again, and new players as well. Some of those new players will be participating in Brampton and the juniors division. We hope that you'll be able to join in person or watch the streams there as well, and then continue to grow Ultimate through supporting them in their communities. I'll turn it back over as number 4 grabs the point for Puck Puck to start the second half.
So thanks to Shar for this message. While in the meantime, we saw Saint-Onge just piping it for a handler strike done by Antoine Lepagnol, which led to Puck Puck 9th point. What a great way to kick off this second half. Alors, Puck Puck qui commence cette deuxième mi-temps en offensive et de belle façon avec le handler strike, donc le passeur là, qui remet tout simplement à son coéquipier et qui attaque le tracé long. Et c'est Saint-Onge qui a alimenté de belle façon le Pagnol sur la dernière séquence. Puck Puck now leading by 3. Dinner at 4 on the receiving end on the right-hand side wearing the dark jerseys. We are in the pre-quarter here at 2022 CUC Mixed Master Canadian Championship hosted in Ottawa at UPI facilities, wonderful facilities which have hosted tons of tournaments throughout the last 20 years. So Dinner at 4, picking up the disc right in the middle with great disc movement. Now Hazard with the disc at the brick line, feeding number 16, kind of a little miscue, but saved by Wilson. Wilson now finding Wong, quickly to Baxter, and finding Cabral in the end zone with a great disc movement. Flawless execution by Dinner at 4. We have a 9-7 game right now. Puck Puck leading it.
Great, and I mean great disc movement from Dinner at 4 right there. And they answered a quick hold from Puck Puck as well. Cabral, one of the Kingston players we talked about, Kingston imports, we're going to call it. 3 goals already on the day and has been involved a lot for this team. Cabral actually suiting up for Too Bad, another pickup squad. I don't think, some of you might know Too Bad. A pretty legendary team. They played many tournaments.
Who doesn't know Too Bad?
Exactly. You should probably know who Too Bad is, but he played for Too Bad at regionals in the open division. So kind of bouncing back and forth between the two divisions, now playing out here for Dinner at 4 in the Masters.
And Theo, I would like to take a few seconds just to big thank to Ultimate Canada for setting this event up. And thanks also to all the volunteers which make this event a success. Just setting up the fields, carrying the water all over the place. And all the organization by Ultimate Canada, also Tushar and his team setting up this webcast. Thanks for being there. Howard, Lepagnol, qui doivent progresser contre la zone de Dinner at 4. Lepagnol remet à Pilon. Pilon, une passe qui flottait, qui était partiellement bloqué. Remis rapidement. Bordelot maintenant à la berge. La berge trouve Howard. Rapidement. Encore une fois, Pilon qui trouve Saint-Onge. On bouge le 10 de façon avec un bon rythme du côté de l'équipe québécoise. Pilon attaque le côté bris, trouve la berge qui s'est bien démarquée. Il y a quelques verges à la zone de point. Elle pivote. Elle alimente Howard qui s'est ouverte malgré la défensive serrée de la numéro 11, Dalla Mota. Et le point est confirmé pour Puck qui se forge une avance de 3 points qui vient d'entrer dans la zone des double digits. C'est 10-7 pour Puck.
Third assist for Labarge in this game. Been all over the field offensively. Saw Lepenguel kind of taking a backseat there for some other players. A lot of female matching players getting involved, Pion as well. And Labarge finds her target in Howard. And Puck's offense looking smooth so far out of half. 2 clean holds to get things going. It's actually been no turnovers so far. It's only been 3 points, but no turnovers in this half so far.
Puck avec le lancer d'engagement qui sera effectué par le numéro 33, Mark Zimmerl. Donc, on attend la confirmation des observers pour s'assurer que tout le monde est prêt. Tout le monde semble prêt du côté de Dinner at 4. Et voilà, le disque est en jeu. Encore une fois, un superbe lancer d'engagement. How important are those pull in ultimate in order to position well your defense, winning some yardage, some hang time? It's very, very valuable. Nonetheless, Dinner at 4 moving the disc well now midfield. Staying on the same side of the field, the far side. Still, Epoch holding on their zone defense. Nice little flick in the space, finding its target, and quickly Dinner at 4 finding the holes in Epoch's zone defense, securing their 8th point of the game, still trailing by 2. 10-8 for Puck in the second half of this pre-quarter mixed master pre-quarter final here in Ottawa.
In a zone, you're trying to take away certain things, and they want the disc to go to the open side, but that was way too easy in terms of how they were able to feather it down the line. I think there was some miscommunication with the side mid over there that should have been in that spot because they were able to just work it down the line, and there wasn't really any resistance from the mids down there. So Epoch, I think they're going to put that zone on again, but they're just going to have to adjust slightly in terms of what's happening downfield because you don't want it to be that easy for the Dinner at 4 offense.
So Puck, as we mentioned, didn't have serious opposition so far in this tournament, but now Dinner at 4 has scored 8 points, considering that the Puck has won their first 2 games 15-5 and 15-4. So
9 total in
9
those 2
total,
games.
and Dinner at 4 has scored so far 8, and the game is far from being over. Howard, avec le disque, cherche une option. Il commence à se faire tard. Howard met le disque dans l'espace. C'est Bordelot qui en est la cible. Sécurise cette passe. Le gaucher qui remet à Drouin. Encore une fois, Howard qui agit comme la corps arrière sur cette ligne offensive. Bordelot. C'est Saint-Onge qui passe ses cours. Howard qui feinte pour se donner de l'espace du côté ouvert. Trouve Bordelot qui s'est ouvert rapidement. Alimente Saint-Onge. Le gaucher qui trouve Monette. La berge qui attaque le tracé intérieur, mais non. Il y avait discussion. Je crois qu'il y avait peut-être eu un appel. Peut-être on aurait reproche à Monette d'avoir marché. Ou d'avoir. Il y aurait une faute. Peu importe, on reprendra le compte à 1. Monette qui pivote sans hésitation. Remet à Saint-Onge qui trouve Howard du côté bris. On attaque le côté bris, mais rien de significatif. La berge qui a été coupée par Howard. Oh, c'était la passe à Pilon. Il y a eu contact, mais c'était une belle lecture de disque from Dinner at 4. Number 66 denying that pass. Beatty granting his team a turnover and potentially a break point. But no, Bordelot denies that pass. Just stealing the disc away from Blouin. Drouin maintenant qui reprend le disque. Pivote, cherche une option. Push pass, trouve Pilon qui rejoint, connecte avec Monette qui était fin seul à l'entrée de la zone de points et qui octroie à Poc le 11e point et qui maintient sa possession offensive. C'est 11-8, Poc dans cette deuxième mi-temps.
Dinner at 4 getting this break opportunity. It's the first one of this half for either side and not able to take advantage of it. A great block there for Bordelot to make that play, and Pion's not gonna gets her second assist of the game, and her impact is just being able to calmly move this offense. Said this already, but just be able to calmly move things for her team with no Lepagnol on that point as well. So good to see from Poc as they continue to hold things on offense. They were patient up until that one block, so they had some patient offense. They were able to flow it around, and then eventually a block turned it away for them. But they're able to get it back and continue to march on right now with their three-point advantage.
Julie Tremblay avec les lancers d'engagement. Et ça roulera là, jusqu'à la ligne de brick. Un beau lancer d'engagement de la part de Tremblay. Dinner at 4 at their own brick line. Dishing it backward, resetting, attacking the break side, but miscued. Number 1, Cabral was the intended receiver, but quickly, Deg remet disque en jeu. Pivote bien. Va trouver Vanas le long de la ligne. Vanas remet la politesse à Deg qui continue de l'autre côté. C'était Dufresne, mais c'était un peu court. Ça a été ralenti par le vent. Ça a été mis hors de portée par Dufresne. So the wind just killing that disc down, making it out of reach for Dufresne. Dinner at 4. Looking to hold that offense whole while you can hear the wind gust in our earphones. But turnover. Puck hunting down the first break point of this second half. Vanas qui s'offre en cible à l'intérieur pour Daigle. C'est maintenant Lord qui alimente Poitras. Poitras pivote bien. Remet à Skrotsky-Boisvert. On attaque le côté bris. Vanas qui saute pour sécuriser cette passe. Il y a un appel d'obstruction. Pick call. But no impact on the play. So Vanas will keep possession. Putting the disc back into play. Vanas, sans option, remet à Skrotsky-Boisvert. On s'échange les politesses entre Vanas et Skrotsky-Boisvert. Vanas à Lord. Lord qui trouve Daigle. Et voilà le premier point bris de cette deuxième mi-temps. Ça sera offert par Félix-Antoine Daigle qui en donne un 12e à son équipe et qui forge à Poc une avance de 4 points tard dans ce match. 12-8 for Poc late in this second half.
Poc potentially running away with this one if they can continue to provide some of the defensive line offense that we've seen. And this was the last 2 points have been the first that had turnovers. Before that, we had 4 points, 2 apiece that were clean holds. So wind potentially playing a factor, fatigue potentially playing a factor, and of course the heat as well potentially playing a factor. So both teams are going to have to tighten things up a little bit and make sure they get some good rest tonight. Maybe hit the ice bath. Of course, get some refreshments, but make sure you get some good sleep because it's going to be a long day tomorrow as well with a lot of games. We got games coming for you stream tomorrow. Etienne, I'm excited for that one because we get to do 4 games again tomorrow. More action for the Canadian Ultimate audience.
So a ton of action of those 4 games. 3 will be finals, so always exciting to look at finals. In the meantime, dinner at 4 with Blouin feeding up his teammate, earning some yardage quickly. Blouin once again wearing number 24 for the dark jerseys. Initially from Montreal, Blouin moved to Toronto about 10, 12 years ago for his career, but has been playing strong ultimate ever since. Quickly, Dinner at 4 in the red zone. Few yards shy of what can become their 9th point of the game. Wong going to Westlake. Finding number 24, LP Blouin once again. How many discs touched did he had on that last point? I can't tell, but he had many of them, probably 50%. Nonetheless, Dinner at 4 scoring their 9th point, still trailing by 3. It's a 12-9 for Puck. Still.
Working it down the break side, that's what you want to see, able to flow. And for Blouin, also a veteran maneuver. Some younger players, they might just catch it outside the end zone, but he's going to milk it. Also make sure he has the concentration. It looked easy, but you have to first make the catch. You also want to be in the end zone. You want to milk it, but you also have a defender potentially nearby. So there's a lot of factors to consider. But when you're a veteran like LP Blouin, you're going to make that play.
Puck qui sera en réception de service. On vous rappelle que les matchs qui seront diffusés demain, on aura l'occasion de partager avec vous 4 matchs sur cette web diffusion. De ces 4 matchs, il y aura entre autres les 3 finales pour la division mixte, la division féminine et la division masculine. Ça commencera à 8h30 demain avec un match de la division Master. Ce sera une demi-finale. On ne connaît pas encore les équipes. Elles seront confirmées sur les médias sociaux. Et par la suite, à 10h35, ce sera la finale côté Master. Ensuite, on enchaîne à 13h pour la finale féminine et on conclura à 3h, 15h25 pour la finale Mix Master. Daigle. Il alimente Tremblay. Tremblay lui rend la politesse. Poitras qui s'est ouvert côté ouvert, mais Daigle remet plutôt à Zimmerl du côté fermé. Zimmerl qui trouve Lebel. Maintenant, Tremblay qui feinte côté droit, mais qui trouve plutôt Dufresne du côté Brie. Dufresne qui alimente encore une fois Lebel qui semble infatigable après cette dure journée d'Ultimate. C'est Vanas avec une passe dans l'espace. Trouve Poitras. Oh, c'était une passe quand même audacieuse. Et il y avait peu d'espace. Il y avait une petite fenêtre et Vanas a été précis dans cette passe côté Brie, du côté revers, pour trouver Poitras et octroyer à son équipe un 13e point. Puck, plus qu'à 2 points de la victoire qui mène maintenant 13-9.
What smooth offense there. There was, I would say, a tad of resistance, but they were able to flow pretty freely, working it laterally before working it vertically downfield, kind of switching the lanes and options for the downfield cutter defenders. And Puck able to punch that one in, and 2 points away from the victory here, and really showing why they're the #1 seed in this tournament.
I love the way Puck is just like moving the disc, and everybody's like their body language is like smooth, relaxed, and sometimes they miscue, but hey, you know, these things happen, so we're gonna work it up. So, but still, Dinner at 4 seems to be very relaxed also, so that we don't see the stress, any signs of stress, having fun, even though time is quite kind of running out right now. Dinner at 4 with the disc. Beatty. Time is running out. The stall is going high, but he finds Blouin. What a game he's having. Going, but it was a travel call here. I think Blouin might have put the disc back into play a little too upward. Bordeaux called that travel call. So Blouin, no big argument here. Just want to make sure all the players are in the right spot. The disc is back into play. Blouin. Great back end finding Westlake. Quickly. Now to Hall. You can hear forced back end There was some body bumping by Saint-Onge against number 3 Westlake, which resulted in the foul call, uncontested foul call. Stall will go back at 0. Westlake looking for an opening. Blue Wayne lays out to save that disc. Blue Wayne just ripping that backhand on the opposite side. What an amazing backhand by LP. Blue Wayne providing his team their 10th point of the game. What a ripped backhand by Blue Wayne.
Putting it to a spot where only his offensive player, Hall, could get there. Lepagnol was in contention. We've seen him switch over to defense line a little bit here in the second half, but what a shot. That is just perfect into that spot of the end zone where only Hall can get it. And Hall had to make a little bit of a play too. It wasn't just in the breadbasket. Hall had to kind of go get it as well. So Dinner at 4, staying within it, down 3. I think they'll still have some time to make a little run here. And so like more than 25 minutes left in this one as we start at 5:15 and games are to 85 minutes. So Dinner at 4, if you want to make a run, you kind of have to start now. If you get held by Pok, you'll be down 14-10, and that'll be tough sledding. So 13-11, a little better scoreline where they can try to make a run.
So as you mentioned, it's not a clock challenge that Dinner at 4 is facing. It's a scoreboard challenge right now because Pok is 2 points shy of winning the game, while Dinner at 4 is need to score 5 in order to win the game. Pok avec le lancer d'engagement qui atterrit à l'extérieur. Ça sera repris au point de brique par Félix-Antoine Daigle, qui est accompagné par Mark Zimmerl. Sa ligne offensive, Elena Skrotsky-Boisvert aussi. C'est un stack horizontal. C'est Vanas qui s'offrait en cible à l'intérieur, mais on remet en soutien à Zimmerl. Daigle qui vient supporter son coéquipier Zimmerl qui attaque le tracé de la ligne. Regarde de long. Lebel là, qui s'offre en cible long, mais c'est un peu risqué. Zimmerl préfère briser sa marque et remettre à Vanas en plein cœur du terrain. Zimmerl avec une petite passe, avec de l'attitude, trouve Vanas le long de la ligne. Époque, oh là, peut-être une passe un peu nonchalante là, de Vanas et c'est rabattu par number 2 from Dinner at 4, Stacy Blouin, just blocking the disc. And there's a timeout call by Dinner at 4, acknowledging the importance of this point. Dinner at 4 is still hunting down their first break point of this second half. They scored only 1 in the first half, while Pok have scored so far 4 break point, which result in a 3-point lead late in the second half.
Yeah, I've been able to get clean holds. It's just, can they punch in a break here in the second half? Been unable to do so, as you mentioned. And this is a ripe opportunity for them. I like the timeout call. Reset some things, you know. I kind of wish, you know, I'm going to go on the soapbox again. Wish that you could call subs on timeouts because that would be kind of fun. But obviously right now you cannot do so. So we're going to focus simply on the rules that we have at stake here and what's happening. So Dinner at 4. I've said this for a couple points that they had. One of them was right before half, and I think this is another one of those kind of, we're going to say, I am ultimate turning points, because you could either reverse the deficit to 13-11 or you're down 14-10, and I think then it's good night, at least for this game.
I totally agree with you, Theo. So let's see how Dinner at 4 handles the situation. Vertical stack by the dark jerseys. Kind of a poachy defense by Pok. Floaty disc to reset. Great grab by number 73, Fizel, Cathy Fizel from the right hand. Now Cabral. Oh, but a great reading by Deg, who just busting long after resetting to Vanas. Maintenant, c'est Zimmerl qui alimente Dufresne. Dufresne qui trouve Vanas. Attaque l'intérieur. Vanas pivote sans trop attendre. Va trouver Daigle et se mettre autour de Dufresne de feinter. Dufresne qui trouve Skrotsky-Boisvert à la zone des points. Et Lebel qui confirme le 14e point de Pok de belle façon, s'étendant de tout son long dans la zone de points. Puck à un point de la victoire, mais maintenant 14-10, tard dans cette deuxième mi-temps.
Talked about that being the I Am Ultimate turning point, and that may be all they wrote here for this dinner at 4 score. Unless they can, they could string off five points together, but right now it's the precision of Pok's offense, regardless if they're on defensive line or offensive line. They've been able to do kind of whatever they want flowing-wise. We've noticed that up here. And so if that's going to continue throughout this tournament, a lot of teams are going to be in trouble if they can't provide any defensive resistance right now to Epoc's offense.
Puck effectuera le lancer d'engagement du côté droit de votre écran. Dinner at 4 on the receiving end will be receiving now facing up the sun, facing up kind of the wind that died down. It's still like a little windy, but not as intense as we have seen earlier today. Blouin, vraiment, il connaît tout un match, LP Blouin. Going long for Dinner at 4. Great pass on the... Oh, what a nice layout bid by number 7, Jeffrey Elliott, just going horizontal to catch that disc. Whoa, that's top 10 material right here at the UPI at CUC Mixmaster pre-quarter final. What an amazing layout grab.
I thought the throw from Beatty, his 4th assist of the tournament, might be a little too far, but flying in, Elliott making the grab, and that might spark a comeback in this game. Even if it doesn't, that's going to spark your team for the rest of this tournament. They're going to, tonight, as they eat at the restaurant or wherever they're at, B&B Hotel, they're going to be like, hey, do you remember when Elliott made that grab? And that was really exciting, wasn't it? And they'll be like, yeah, it was. And that will just be something that can help fuel them for future, as they're pretty excited. They want to make sure they got that layout. Elliott just making sure. Did you get that on camera? Because I want to see that again later on. What a grab.
I cannot help but being impressed how much athleticism those Masters athletes are displaying right here at Canadian Ultimate Championship. We are in Ottawa, UPI facilities. Beautiful summer day. Hot and muggy, but still beautiful. That's what Ultimate is all about, playing Frisbee in the sun. Dinner at 4 with an amazing floaty pull going deep into Puck end zone. C'est Daigle qui attrapera son lancer d'engagement. Remet à Zimmerl. Trouve Skrotsky-Boisvert du côté Brie. On s'échange le 10 côté de Daigle et Zimmerl. Rapidement, c'est Tremblay avec le disque qui feinte côté droit, mais on sait très bien qu'elle lance toujours ou presque des lancers revers. C'est Zimmerl maintenant. Étudie la situation, trouve Skrotsky-Boisvert. Pivote. Zimmerl, le vétéran qui s'offre en cible le long de la ligne. 2 cibles pour la passe de Zimmerl-Vanant. C'est Poitras qui sécurisera le point de la victoire. Puck qui l'emporte 15-11 face à Dinner at 4. Puck winning the game 15-11 against Dinner at 4. So Puck was initially ranked number 1 of this tournament, and with that victory, they will secure that number 1 seeding in the quarterfinal, which will happen tomorrow.
Dinner at 4 still very much alive in this tournament. They're just going to have a tougher quarterfinal potentially tomorrow, or will, and semifinal. But been really impressed with Puck's offense. They did not get broken in the second half. Did a great job of flowing and moving the disc. Going to cause a lot of problems for other teams because they use all their players. We know some of their star names or bigger names for this team, but they're using everyone and getting everybody involved, and I think that's going to be really important. You can't key in on one person if you're another team. You can't just spotlight Le Pagnol because Pillon or someone else, Labarge or other players are going to get involved.
we almost have not seen Le Pagnol in the second half of the game. So I don't know, is he injured or is just resting for tomorrow?
Saw
Who
some of him
knows?
on D-line a little bit, but you're right.
Yeah.
I saw him less on offense. Julie Tremblay playing a lot more offense on that one, and some other players. Shaggy as well, taking more of an offensive role. So maybe deciding to rest some players for tomorrow or trying different lineup changes potentially as well.
So that will conclude our day for day one of the CUC Canadian Championship here in Ottawa. So we will have 4 more assignments tomorrow starting at 8:30 for an Open Masters semi-final. So stay tuned. Make sure you have your coffee ready, your toast, and your yogurt and granola for tomorrow to enjoy this great game. The other 3 assignments will be finals starting with the Open Master finals at 10:35, the Women's Master Final at 1 p.m., ending the day with the Mixed Master Final at 3:25. Alors, nos prochains rendez-vous seront demain matin à 8h30. Préparez-vous une bonne tasse de café, peut-être un petit peu de Baileys avec ça pour partager avec nous une des deux demi-finales de la division Master. On enchaînera par la suite à 10h35 avec la finale Open. Ensuite, à 13h pour la finale féminine. Et on conclura à 3h25 dans l'après-midi pour la finale Mixed Master. C'était Étienne Fournier avec vous. Thanks to you, Theo, for sharing the mic all day long. That was an amazing day. Thanks for I Am Ultimate for making this webcast happening. Thanks to Ultimate Canada for organizing this wonderful event. On vous souhaite une excellente soirée et on vous dit à demain. See you tomorrow.